Nothing changes until something changes. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to be diving into another episode for the Reset series. This one is going to be on physical, my physical pillar. Just to start off, it all starts with you when it comes to your physical being. I know this, but there has been a lot of instances in my life where I have realized that because of my environment, just the foundation of that has been so distorted. And I am, as an adult now today, doing my best to restore and make the foundation better. This is such a love hate relationship that I've had with myself ever since I could remember. Ever since that awakening of the consciousness that I've had to my body and how others perceive me. This is not an easy topic to talk about for me, especially because there has been such a negative stigma around just talking about your way of being with yourself in terms of how you know, just take care of yourself. This consumption of media and how they want us to perceive ourselves and to see ourselves as not enough simply because of how we look. The insecurity has been embedded in our brains, and it's insane. And I absolutely despise it because there is no reason for so much just negativity to be surrounded by this, especially when you don't know a lot of people's circumstances and why they are how they are or why they look the way they look, period. I'm gonna talk about a little bit of my childhood here because I feel like it's important just to set the foundation of understanding. I have always been considered obese or overweight since I was so very young. I don't remember. But according to my mom, my parents, I have always enjoyed food. And this aspect of my life is so true because I've always found myself finding comfort throughout my years in food. When I was stressed, when I was going through just stuff, that was kind of like a source of comfort. And it wasn't taught to me not to rely on that and I wasn't able to find another source to put those things in perspective for me to be better when it came around being physical, like physically active, and also understanding how to eat better. I am Hispanic. We are taught you eat the plate that you are given, no matter how big it is. And if you do not, you're not gonna get juice. That's just like one of the things. To drink water after a meal was seen as a punishment. That's insane to me. But I don't know that I'm not the only one who thought this. But like you would have to ask your parents for certain like things in the house, right? When it came to whatever groceries were in your fridge or whatnot. We had to ask them, oh, can we have this? Oh, can we drink this? And I feel like that is also a negative when it came around the mindset of like, water is not bad for you. I love water. Like, why did I see it as a punishment? We just wanted sugary things. That's not talked about enough. Why are you embedding in your children so young that, kind of like water is seen as a punishment because your parents also did not really drink water like that. That is insanity. That comes from a generation of just like not having the right example of what is good for you. Oh my god. Okay. So, because I was not taught healthy habits growing up, I used to see a lot of distorted views on how we perceived food. Like, my parents were young parents, and they didn't really have their parents around to teach them either. That kind of translated over to my siblings and I, and it's really sad because I am seeing the after effects of just not having that foundation set there, and now I'm trying to fix myself in terms of how I look at myself and what I am doing to help myself. This is emotionally packed, honestly, because like a couple of years ago, I worked with a dietitian and she showed me a few of the tricks and the things that, normal people who don't have my issues essentially do. Like, they intuitively eat. What is intuitively eating? What is that? Like, literally, I did not understand the concept. I always had that I'm always hungry or what's the next meal I'm going to eat in the back of my head. And that's not normal, allegedly. Apparently, that's not normal. And it's so sad to think that that's not normal, but that's something that I grew up with as normal. I have had so much shame when it came to this aspect of my life and how I allowed others to treat me as well because of this. The way that this has shaped me into not valuing myself and seeing myself as less worthy simply because of the way that I grew up and am right now today is crazy. I have friends around me, or I've had friends like throughout my whole life that didn't necessarily look like me, and so they couldn't understand this. This is not something that I could talk to them about. Like they had other ways of viewing themselves and other insecurities, specifically around food and eating disorders. And I couldn't talk to them about that because it was different. It's so sad that we had to go through this and how the media constantly feeds us ways to improve, ways to get into a diet that will help you. And now that we have Ozempic, that it is real. Okay? They're capitalizing on us after making us essentially this way, not teaching us the proper ways to take care of ourselves as a society. And we are constantly, now we're overwhelmed with all the wellness and how to get better. But it also it takes willingness. It takes willingness to be better. It takes willingness to want to take actions to improve yourself, right? This is a cycle of just bad examples. I feel this is why I'm taking charge now, because I don't want this in my life. When I was growing up, my mom got pregnant a couple times that I was able to see with my younger siblings, and she was not on the best diet. Like, I'll be real, like there would be times where she would just not eating and also binge eating at the same time, like simultaneously, I guess. And I would see her go on extreme diets after she would give birth because she would gain some weight, and extreme diets where I feel like she was taking some supplements or something and then walking incredibly exercising too much, and just seeing that and kind of like doing some of it with her, not the supplements but kind of like exercising, I saw this was a negative cycle. And taking advice from her on how to lose weight was not good because we had different body types, period. Different body types, different conditions within the body that I'm not fully aware of. That is not good. Like, not everything that works for somebody else will work for you as well. And this is something I had to realize later on, like mid 20s. I'm like, this is so sad. Why is it so hard to be good to yourself, to also have a good mental state around this? Because there is so much information out there, but it's not so much applicable to just one type of person. And then the trial and error that you have to go through to actually find a result that can possibly work for you is so time consuming. I wish there was just a machine that you could just like get on and figure it out. Like, it's not easy. Ugh. And because it's not easy, when I was in high school, I wasn't as overweight as I thought I was. Like, now I think I weigh more than I used to weigh then. But, anyways, when I was in high school, like my senior year, I started doing more sports. Then I went to college, kind of like took a year off of that. But then I went back into sports, and I was in the best shape of my life back then because I was doing the most. Like, I was actually exercising, I was not eating as much because I was so active in school and like being busy, and I felt amazing as well. As soon as you get out of college, that's a different lifestyle that you're implementing into your life once again. I've been in and out of the gym for the past few years, and I've found things that worked, but also that pandemic really didn't do it for me. But at the same time, I was exercising more than I had before, but it's my body that I realized this year I need to. Well, last year I realized that I need to get more tests done because no matter how much I'm working out, I'm not seeing the results that I should be seeing, that a normal person with a regular metabolism is going to see. There is so much more that goes into this that people don't talk about. And that I'm just becoming more aware of as I am getting older, and I need to start taking care of myself because there are certain things that are hurting that should not be hurting. they shouldn't. There's like some knee problems that need to get solved. And then there's some pre-diabetes that they're mentioned as well. And don't get me wrong, I don't eat terribly. Now as more a woke adult around this, I don't eat terribly. But it's not only that. It's not only what you're consuming that makes a difference. There are other factors. And they always want to feed you, oh, it's just what you're eating. Are you eating correctly? Like, be quiet. Are you working out? Are you being yes, but that is not the issue. And that's kind of what annoys me about just like getting information from people who have not been in your situation nor know how to handle it. My motivation is just to change my lifestyle around just how I view myself. This has been a journey for me to actually come to like acknowledge how I am, how I see myself. But even in video, when people take like candid video of me or a candid photo and I see myself, I am disgusted. I am disgusted, and that's real. But because that's not how I see myself. You understand? I don't see myself how I'm being pictured. Like it kind of it's distorted. Like it feels like something from another dimension. Like that is so crazy. Unachievable for me is to fix this, to fix it for myself, to my standard of what needs to be fixed, okay? This is to get better habits in place, to give myself credit along this journey. This has been something like the bane of my existence, really, because I this is something I constantly come back to because it's not something I can escape. It's real, it's right in my face all the time. And it's not like I expect to be skinny because I don't want to be skinny. I don't think my body is made to be skinny. I just want to be at a weight that can help my body function optimally. I want to be able to not struggle as much finding clothing. That's not that much to ask. Not that I'm not meant to fit clothes. Clothes are meant to fit me, you know? That's we know this. The achievables around this is me working out more regularly, which we do. Going to the doctor and actually getting stuff figured out in terms of what I'm deficient of and what I need more of, like, what I can do to, you know, help my body work better. That's all we're doing here. I'm going to be being more mindful of what I'm intaking in terms of supplements and all this other stuff. And I want to eat more whole foods because this is what we need to be better, right? According to the health gurus. Your body needs to be really working to the best of its capabilities, but I also need to help it happen. So, this is where we are. Those are my achievables. I will be checking in every month or so, I think, because on a weekly check-in that's stressful and my body is already going through stress. But I know I'm not the only one who has always kind of like been overweight and doesn't really have anybody to talk to around it, because people are constantly telling them that they should do this, they should try this, say whatever, but they've never been in your shoes, nor they never been in the weight that you've been. So to be real, this is not an easy task, and I want and I will be uploading more about this. Right now, I'm gonna not share like actual body statistics for myself, but I will be sharing this in the future. And I believe in myself and I'm gonna be doing it. And what I said earlier about being disgusted is because I don't see myself that way. It's not that I'm actually disgusted, I'm just disgusted by the idea of that continuing to be that. I love myself. I believe I can do a lot of good things for myself, and this is one of them. So, this physical pillar is highly important for me because I know that the way that I perceive myself will only get better if the effort that I put in is so much more intentional. So, this is the end of this reset episode, but I will be putting a reset Notion template in the description because this is just like questions that you should be talking to yourself about if you're looking just to reset yourself in different areas of your life. And these are what I'm asking myself because it's so important to get down to the root and not just have superficial whys. I'll see you at the next one, which will be on relationships. I'll see you later.